Good morning. It's October 31st. It's Halloween. All three county commissioners are here, all dressed up. And at this time, I will ask for a moment of silent meditation if we rise and pledge to the flag. And I ask we extend the silent meditation for the 11 individuals who lost their lives in Pittsburgh. Thank you very much. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We will now have consents and approvals.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 18 exonerations for $4,620.45. Vouchers for General County Fund, $341,038.52. Coal severance, $110.26. Magistrate Court, $518.40. 911, $59.26. Chestnut Ridge Park, $52.54.08. Mason-Dixon Park, $283.08. Assessor's valuation, $1841.85. Payroll account, $196.78. Federal forfeiture, $2,238. Purchasing card vouchers, General County Fund, $39,073.75. Magistrate Court, $119.80. 911, $12.65. Home confinement, $8,855.70. Chestnut Ridge Park, $819.29. Mason-Dixon Park, $36.93. For a voucher total of $400,458.35. We have one budget revision for Parks and Recreation. And then the boards, position vacancies for boards and authorities, the Western Board of Zoning Appeals, the Planning Commission, Development Authority, Building Commission, Camp Muffley, and Mason-Dixon Park advisory boards. Fiduciary orders for October the 31st, 2018.
Move for approval. Second.
Proper moves in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great. Okay, we have an introduction of new employees. First, we have the Youth Services Center.
It's a transfer. It's
Oh,
not
it's
a
just
new
a transfer.
employee. She's transferring from part-time to full-time.
Okay, that's Tracy Strother, and I just want to put it in the record.
Mhm.
Okay. We also have someone from the county clerk. Oh, okay. Good morning. How you doing? Glad you're back.
Hello. We have hired Maggie Beck as a part-time student employee in our office. She's actually in class this morning, so wasn't able to be here.
Okay.
But she's a graduate student in the Public Administration program, and she's going to be helping us in several departments in our office.
Thank
Move
you.
for approval. Second.
Proper moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Sheriff's Department? Or, well, you handed, I have the, oh, I didn't see. I apologize.
I snuck in. Good
You're
morning.
getting good at that, I guess.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have here James Seckel. James will be starting as part-time bailiff. We recently had Russell Kirk. If y'all remember Russell, he retired the 29th of October. And Russell was instrumental in starting our Project Lifesaver.
Oh.
And he worked hand in hand with Jim. So Jim is going to be, we're hiring him part-time, and he'll be taking over the reins of Russell. He'll be starting out part-time, $11.85 per hour with no benefits.
Move for approval. Second.
Proper moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that's a tremendous program. My father-in-law is up in Pennsylvania. We had a situation, and we went to call, and there's no program there. Tried to set him up, so we really appreciate the program.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay. At this time, we will have comments from the public. What we can do is have anyone come up to the podium. We'll have 3 minutes. You can state your name, your address, and we'd love to hear from anyone who'd like to speak first. Mr. Scotchell. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Louis A. Scotchell Sr. I'm a resident of Mon County. I've been involved in an estate affair since April of 2009 that has never been resolved and is still under litigation, which is costing this estate too much money and way beyond its scope, in my opinion, because as I addressed, I gave a letter to you and just want to acknowledge that you have received it and
Yes.
would like for you to move forward on that for the many issues that are of very much concern. And I've had now 100% of the heirs who have signed this document that I gave you this week that need something done. That this is just ridiculous. Our system has failed us terribly in this estate matters. And there's too many of them that are still like in the wind, that relatives of deceased are still waiting on answers, and they're just heir distributions that never seem to come to an end because of the legal system or the failing of the legal system to have a proper due process to get these matters resolved within a reasonable time. It seems that I've already lost I'm over $200,000 in debt just in paying administrative fees for this estate and paying off loans for this estate. And I hold 2 deeds of trust that one of them, the property was sold, and I've never been satisfied, but still hold the deed of trust that's in the county clerk's office. Which doesn't make sense. That the money was put into escrow to pay me, but after the will contest was taken out by the CTA that was removed. And there's just too many things that I think a full investigation of this needs to be done. And something needs to be done in a public hearing so that there may be other people that have the same issues or complaints that they're not getting resolved. And I'd appreciate anything you could do for us.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you very much. We are sorry for that. Yes. Is there someone else who would like to speak? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kara Brown. I live at 4210 Persimmon Woods Drive in the county, not the city. And I've been a resident of Mon County for essentially, I haven't lived here 8 years. I went to school in Nashville for 4 years. I lived in Berkeley County and not Kanawha County, Putnam County for 1 year. So I was coming to talk to you about the ambulance service in Mon County. My son has a severe peanut allergy, and we live in the county. I grew up in South Park off of Maple Avenue, and so we always had good response time with everyone because we have the fire department obviously on South High Street. So my concern is that I've spoken with Dave Custer at Mon EMS. I've spoken with Albert Wright at WVU. I know he's not the CEO of the health net that is actually having the other ambulances. My concern is the exclusivity contract. I don't believe that serves the Mon County residents the best that could be served. I think that we need to look into, as a county, doing things like when I was in high school, I did a volunteering at Mecca. And so the zone system, I've actually talked to Sheriff Palmer before about it for the county police as well, but obviously we aren't staffed high enough to be able to do it. But with the ambulances, and I don't know exactly how many Mon County or Mon EMS can run and HealthNet can run. I don't know the numbers on that. But if we were able to use all of the ambulances, JanCare, Star City, HealthNet, and Mon EMS, we would be able to serve the citizens of Mon County far better than awarding any individual contract. I think that if we award it to Mon EMS, we're doing the county a disservice, and I think if we award it to HealthNet, we're doing the county a disservice. Because if each of them have, I don't know, say 10 ambulances, we could have 20 ambulances in service at any time versus only having 10. And my problem with that is that my son, we thought he was anaphylaxing at one point. I injected him with his epinephrine, and I called 911, and I told them that I was not going to wait for them. I met them off the Pierpont exit at the BB&T. It took me 10 minutes to get there. It took them 10 minutes to get there. I reduced the response time by half because I transported him myself. My next door neighbor, he and her are both physicians. She started hemorrhaging at 33 weeks of pregnancy, and they did the same thing. They took her by car to Exxon off of Pierpont Road to meet the ambulance because obviously that is a time matter. My concern is that when you have a high priority call, response time matters. It's been shown that you have to have CPR started within 4 minutes and AED in 8 minutes for a cardiac arrest in order to save. Oh, I'm done?
Well, if you want to just
Conclude.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you could,
sorry,
yeah,
I didn't
we
know
don't
what
wanna
you.
cut you off. Yeah, well, go
Okay,
ahead.
so anyway, that's just my main concern. I would be willing to help in any way because I am highly concerned about this for the citizens of the county.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else? Good morning.
Good morning. Michael Clifford, 145 South High Street in Morgantown. As you all know, I attended the regional collaboration meeting on Saturday. I do want to say that I was pleasantly surprised with the results of the meeting. I thought that it went well. I do think that there's some things that could be changed if there are future meetings, and I would like to address that. First off, I think, and you all have probably noted this, that to have the smaller municipalities attend and bring all of their counselors would be a great idea. Particularly Blacksville, I think that they should have sent somebody, considering that they often say that they're left out of the process, and I think that they should show up and be part of the process if they think that's a complaint. I would also have appreciated if all of the Morgantown City Council would have stayed for the entire meeting. What I think the value of this meeting was that it was the people in the room that brought the value. It was the city council, all the representatives. I'm not sure if the mediator brought the $12,500 worth of value from their fee to that. I think that there was times that she kind of quelled the disputes that you had, and I think actually talking about those disputes amongst each other might have been more helpful than not addressing them. And of course, I would not come here and present you with that problem without looking towards a solution. And so I contacted Professor William Rhee and Monica Haddad, who are both advisors to the West Virginia University Law's Alternative Dispute Resolution Society. They both are interested in possibly having an annual meeting like this in which they would attend, and the ADR students, the students who are interested in alternative dispute resolution, would also attend. Because the law school would be hosting this and it would be a student organization running it, you would be able to use the Law School Events Center free of charge. And I believe that Mr. Rhee and Ms. Haddad would also provide their services free of charge. Therefore, you could have an annual or biannual meeting probably for the cost of just catering the event, which would be about 1/10 of what was spent on this one. And I think that's something that you might want to look at. I'll continue contacting them. I'll continue to be in contact with you and see if we could work something out either for early next year or the fall semester of next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the suggestions. And I do appreciate you were the public at this, so I do appreciate your attending. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion. At this time, we will now have grants. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning. I have the grant contract for the community development grant, which is for MASAP. We've been awarded $14,000 for their program.
Good.
Okay, move for approval, the president to sign. Second.
Okay, thank you. It's been properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes. Great. Okay. Number 7, we will now have a public hearing regarding the progress of projects and project plans in the tax increment financing districts known as Mon County TIF districts. They are Star City, Morgantown Industrial Park, Mon General and Maple Drive improvements, and University Town Center. What we will do is first call for a presentation of the staff report and report any communications that received. I know he is not here. He's not feeling. Have we received any?
That's Rich for your planning districts.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with that. Jason Turner's here from Steptoe and Johnson.
Okay. Well, I thought okay. Well, Jason, we are here. If you want to just come up forward and say who you are and who you represent, and
Yes.
give a general concept.
My name is Jason Turner from Steptoe and Johnson.
Yeah.
Our firm has represented the County Commission in the establishment of each of its 4 TIF districts, as well as approvals of project plans and issuance of TIF bonds for each of those districts. The code requires this hearing to have the county commission determine if the TIF districts and their projects are making, quote, satisfactory progress. It doesn't give any indication of what that means, much as the code usually doesn't. But in order to give you some information with which the commissioners could, make that determination, I just would briefly like to go through each of the 4 districts, a little bit of the history, and the projects that are
Sure.
current with those and the bonds that have been issued. Starting with Star City, Redevelopment District Number 1, established in November 28th, 2017. Its project included various public infrastructure improvements, road and intersection improvements, utility relocation, pedestrian lighting, land and right-of-way acquisition, water lines, sewer lines, etc. The county issued bonds in 2012 in this district, the Series 2012 bonds, in a principal amount of $1,870,000 that was privately placed with a single West Virginia bank. The most visible project that you probably would notice from this district is the widening of Boyers Avenue. That was undertaken with the proceeds of those bonds. There's a healthy tax increment in this district. The base amount was just over $19 million in assessed value. As of June 30, 17, that has risen to almost $37 million, so you have a healthy increment of over $17 million. That first project is complete based on the report of the mayor of Star City, and I understand there have been at least initial discussions of what the next project plan would entail.
Correct.
Next, redevelopment district number 2, Morgantown Industrial Park. This is the industrial park land across the river near Westover. District was established November 19th, 2008. That project included various infrastructure improvements with the design to assist in the redevelopment and improvement of the industrial park for viable industrial, manufacturing, and professional business use. The first bonds that were issued for that, Series 2009 bonds, principal amount of $2,190 million to undertake the Phase 1 of the project. That was placed with the developer and as a means of sort of reimbursing him for what he was expending for the public infrastructure. In 2017, just this past fall, the County Commission issued the 2017A bonds in the amount of just over $5 million, which refunded the 2009 bonds and then funded a Phase 2 of the project. Again, a healthy tax increment there. The base was over $39 million. Assessed as of 2017 was almost $80 million. And we know with the presence of the Atlantic Coast pipeline pipe that's in laydown yards over there, the 18 number should be even higher. So that gives you an increase of over $40 million as of 17. Should be even more this year. Good. Development District number 3, Mon General Hospital. This is the area in the general vicinity of Mon General Hospital. This was established December 22nd, 2008. Project number 1 for this district was the development of a new entrance into Mon General Hospital, the new Mon General Drive that kind of cuts straight across from Willowdale. Project number 2 then was approved subsequent to that, which is improvements to Maple Drive, which were necessitated by the increased traffic there on the new Mon General Drive entrance to the hospital and some of the new development that's happened in the area. The County Commission issued 2011A bonds in the amount of $3,015,000 to undertake project number 1 that was placed with Mon General as the developer of the project. 2016, the County Commission refunded those bonds and had new money to undertake project number 2 of the Maple Drive improvements. Those bonds were issued in an amount of $5,153,000. Again, a healthy tax increment in that district. The base was $81 million, assessed as of June 30, 17 of $125 million. for an increase of approximately almost $45 million. So again, things are going in the right direction in that district. Finally, Development District number 4, University Town Center. This is the property tax portion of that district. As the commissioners know, there is both a property tax district and sales tax district there, and really those two things work in conjunction for that project. On the property tax side, that was established December 12th, 2012. The first project included roads and public infrastructure, a new interchange off the interstate, which everyone has seen, a new ballpark, which everyone has seen. Project number 2 then was additional public infrastructure, earthwork, and roads, primarily once the new interchange went in to open up the land on the west side of the interstate for development. There were also some boundary modifications made in December 2015 in that district to bring in a few additional properties where the developer was doing some development projects. So we have a couple different bonds that were issued over the last several years on this district. It's the Series 2014 bonds issued in 2 series. Series A in the amount of $9,605,000 placed with the Department of Highways to undertake the interchange project. 2014 B in the amount of $4,515,000 to undertake infrastructure improvements that was placed with the developer. In 2016, the Commission issued 2 more series of bonds, which took out the 14 bonds and funded the project number 2 of the infrastructure, primarily on the west side, and that was placed with 2 separate West Virginia banks. They each took half of the $28 million principal amount of the A bonds. And then again, we issued B bonds there that were subordinate to the A bonds, placed with the developer in an amount of $15,380,000 to undertake project number 2. So that's the basic history of the 4 districts that the County Commission has established and approved plans for. Before I step away from the podium, do the commissioners have any questions for me?
Jason, you didn't give a base and a current on the last.
Thank you.
on the TIF.
Thank you. That's because it bled onto the next page
Okay.
of my notes. The base, again, very healthy. Each of these these districts are doing well, as you know, you may know from experience. They don't always do well. It depends on having a good developer, a good plan, and a good project. In UTC, the base was just over $76 million. The assessed value as of June 30, 17 was $163 million plus. So we're looking at an increase there of 870, no, not 870, that would be nice.
Yeah, really.
87 million plus dollars on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just for clarification, these are the 4 TIFs that the county oversees, and I want this in the public record.
Correct.
There are other TIFs in the county that city runs, is that not correct? And I just want to clarify that because people get confused.
Yeah,
If
and
you can
that's-
make a
yes,
comment on that.
That is understandable. Under the TIF Act, a county commission can establish tax increment financing districts. A Class 1, 2, and now 3 municipality can also establish TIF districts. So here in the county, we have the 4 that the county has done. In addition, City of Morgantown has done a few as well. And those are not administered by the county in any way. Although some county staff has to interact with the city on managing those, because the property tax comes to the sheriff's office and the assessor's involved and that sort of thing.
Thank you. I just want to clarify because a lot of people confuse the two, and I appreciate you being the official statesperson stating that. It isn't just coming from the 3 of us.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom.
Thank you.
So you just, something anybody wants to speak for?
Yeah.
Anybody wants to against that?
Okay. Is there any individual who would like to speak for the TIFs? Okay. Is there anyone who'd like to speak against the TIFs? Kelly Palmer stood up. No. That's funny. Okay, we will close now the public hearing. Okay. Thank you very much, too. Correspondence. Received a letter the July-September 2018 levy report from the City of Westover for funds received from the Parks and Recreation levy.
It's pretty much self-explanatory.
Yes, it
We
is.
also received one from Bow Park yesterday.
Okay, good. Any other correspondence? Do we have any other unfinished business? Okay, here we go. New business. Consideration of proposals received the county commission from Travelers and the West Virginia County's risk pool for the county's general liability insurance. And this was discussed at a work session. I want it very clear. Go ahead.
I'd like to move that we approve the proposal provided by the West Virginia County's risk pool with discussion.
Second.
Been moved and second with discussion, please.
Okay. Well, the proposals were each examined very closely, and what we found was the proposal submitted by the West Virginia County risk pool was clearly superior. In regards to the premiums, the risk pool premiums were much lower. In regards to the deductibles were lower. And in regards to the coverage levels were the same or higher, which was all positives. Travelers has been our carrier for over a decade, and this isn't an indictment on Travelers. They provided great service, so we felt we needed to do our due diligence to make sure that we weren't getting lowballed and then get stuck down the road in regards to a cheaper product but an inferior product in regards to service. So we had our administrator do a little due diligence to contact a couple counties that actually use the risk pool. Every reference came back great. We also, the risk pool handles 40, currently, as of today, they'll handle 49 of the 55 counties, but they handled 48 of the 55, and we went to the 7 and checked with them in regards to, okay, so why haven't you explored the risk pool? And predominantly, the reason was just a matter of preference. So we didn't find anything discernible wrong with the risk pool. They have a good track record. And in the end, we have to be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. And we're doing that while at the same time we're trying to make sure that we get the same level of service. So again, I really appreciate the support that Travelers has provided to us over the years, and maybe we'll see them down the road. But at this instance, I really feel that the doing our general liability insurance with the West Virginia risk pool is in the best interest of the county financing and all other matters considered.
To that end, I did contact a retired individual who had spent over 40-plus years in insurance because obviously none of us are insurance people. So we wanted to make sure that the evaluation was done by somebody who stood nothing to gain from the process. And this individual, Mr. Talbot Bowers, also indicated that the risk pool should be the way that the county should go at this time. And I'd like to thank him because he also offered to do this and did not charge the county for it. So it was a service to the county, and we do thank him.
I just want to say I want to thank my two colleagues because each of them took a lot of time to review this and find out the information, find out what is best for our community. So at this time, I ask for a vote. The vote will be to now choose West Virginia County's risk pool. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes 3-0. Thank you. To consider approval of the contract for consulting services in connection with completion and adoption of the draft subdivision and land development ordinance.
Move for approval.
Second.
With discussion.
It's been properly moved in second, and I look forward to the discussion.
This is simply the contract. We want to make sure that before it comes back to the Planning Commission and
Right.
before it comes back to us as a finished document, that I did serve on the committee to interview. 3 individuals did make application to finish this, and we really, the reviewing committee, feel very strongly in those individuals that are selected. This contract being done, then we will go ahead and have them look at our subdivision regulations and wipe them up to be what we hope to be a presentable object to the public.
Any discussion?
No, I have also talked with Bill Austin, who I believe served on that evaluation committee, and the selected offerer was heads and shoulders above everybody else that submitted proposals, and their cost came in at very reasonable. So I think we're in a good place. They understand, the individual and his organization understands what we're doing, and has been in a position as a judge to have worked on these plans in another state, and so I believe that his qualifications are very animate. Yeah, I just go ahead and move forward.
Okay.
I'm interested in getting the work product back.
Yes. So it's been properly moved in second. All those in favor of approving the contract for consulting services, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes 3-0. Good. Any other new business?
Just have one item. The
Okay.
request came in, application for the use of the Mon County Courthouse Square by Jonathan Friend, who's quartermaster at VFW at Post 548, for Veterans Day ceremony on November the 12th from 11 to 12.
Yeah. Move for approval?
Second. Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Reports from any elected official. Oh, come on down.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You found $10 more million for us now.
No, I would like to say that. Actually, I have another property that needs to be suspended from the sale.
Okay.
Due to bankruptcy. And we're also asking that a lot of times people wait until the very last minute.
Thank you.
So we are asking for your approval that we go ahead and suspend those tickets, any others that come before us, that the deed is in question, and then I will report back to you next Wednesday, because the sale is Monday, so
Okay.
this will be the last time that you meet as a body. And by state code, we technically don't need approval, but we need to notify you.
Okay.
So if your preference is that we email you at close of business day on Friday with any additional, we can do that as well. Just want to put something in place because people seem to wait until 4:30 on Friday to bring it to our attention that they're in bankruptcy and that it needs suspended from the sale.
Okay. We'll move to approve this request for suspension and to also allow the tax department to continue to enforce state code until Friday, but just notify us of any changes.
Second.
Properly moved in second on both motions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes.
Very good,
Thank you very much.
I did want to just remind everyone that the sale is here in County Commission Chambers,
Okay.
Monday, November the 5th at 9 a.m. At this point, as of 9:30 this morning, we still have 1,221 unpaid tickets. The highest we have ever been was last year, and it was about 550. So I'm hoping that 700 people come in between now and Friday.
Yes, so
If
we-
not, it will be a very long day for everyone.
Yes.
And the last day to pay is this Friday, November the 2nd, by 5 p.m. Online collections for 2017s will also be shut down at that point because we
Okay.
have to have
Right.
a report that we put together as of 5 p.m. on Friday.
Thank you.
Right? Thank you.
Is there any other reports from any elected officials? Seeing none, Ed, I believe you go first.
Well, after last week's commission meeting, Sean and I did attend the CCAW West Virginia Regional Roundup. Then we came back here for the DOH hearing for all the commissioners to attend. Saturday, our collaborative event was held. I'm going to address a little bit of that at the end of my remarks, but I'm very happy with what happened and what transpired. Tomorrow, I shall be at the PACE Awards banquet, or dinner, excuse me, it's not a dinner. There are cookies, but this is really the recognition for their workers. And if you've never really paid much attention to this enterprise, I would welcome you to come out at, I believe it's 1:30, but it's really a great event. And Saturday is the Mon General Ball of the Year. This was started so many years ago by the Ladies Auxiliary, and that's I will be there. It's a event to raise money for the hospital, a charitable event, and it's a good time. And of course, next Tuesday, that's Election Day. Please give good consideration to your voting. Your voice has to count, and that's one way that you can make your voice count. Now, there will be a fundraiser coming up. Mon County Fair is going to have a murder mystery on November 16th, and that will be at the Elks. And this is leading into this event because I happened to be at the Elks on Sunday. We had a fundraiser there for my 4-H club. And, you know, if you do happen to go there, if you do happen to be a member or not a member, go look at the bar. And the reason is that my father built the bar there. And he used great wood in hickory. But if you look at the bar, it doesn't look like it's all hickory. It's wood, it's hickory inlaid with walnut. And the problem was when he laid the bar out and glued it up, hickory being an obstinate wood sometimes to deal with, basically dried and created a crack between every board. And my father, rather than look at a failure, took something, routed it out, put small strips of walnut, and put an inlay in between each and every one. By doing so, he created something that was actually more beautiful than what he had began with. I'm looking at this, it's not a parable, it's a story, to Saturday's event, because out of conflict, out of problems, we can see solutions. And I feel very strongly, just between Saturday and Sunday's events, I felt very strongly that eventually there's going to be good come out of this, that we'll end up with an inlaid walnut bar, something much more beautiful than what we started with, than a conflict or a dispute or even an argument. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Ed. I don't know how I can.
You don't have a parable?
No, I didn't have any prepared, but maybe I can think of a few. As Commissioner Hawkins said, last week we went to the regional roundtable after our meeting on Wednesday. Last Friday we had the track cutting ribbons ceremony, and that was a great event. And I'm happy to see that beautiful facility as another piece of the inventory of the local community in regards to recreational events. This past weekend, of course, as Commissioner Hawkins mentioned, was the Monongalia County Workshop, and I too will talk about that at the end of my remarks. Monday, I had an OpenGov teleconference. Our upgrade to our OpenGov account is moving forward very fast. We've already knocked out the chart of accounts this week. This Friday, we're having another meeting to go over the report. So we're hoping to get our upgrade in place very soon, and it's going to be very user-friendly. Monday, we had our last Board of Assessment and Appeals meetings, or hearings for now. In the afternoon and evening after that, I had a meeting with Ron Lytle and Keith Hernston, again going over some of the issues with the extension building, talking about that. Today we had our, every 2 weeks I meet with the IT team in the morning to talk about the progress going forward, and I can update you guys on our business reports later. As Commissioner Hawkins mentioned, the PACE Awards ceremony is tomorrow, and tomorrow night we also have the March Western Construction, the awards ceremony, where they were given an award for our Courthouse Square project. Friday, as I mentioned, I have an OpenGov teleconference, and then next week, most importantly, is Election Day, and take advantage of while you can still vote early, or if you like me, I'd like to traditionally vote on Election Day. Please make sure that you get out and make your voices heard. When we talked about the workshop on Saturday, we went from spring when we started talking about to actually getting to the point on Saturday. It was a huge relief for me after, because it could have went really bad. It could have had nominal success, or it could have did what I hoped for, is for people to get in a room and just learn to communicate with each other as individuals on an even level. And that's what we wanted from the beginning. We wanted everybody to have mutual respect for each other's positions, to really just create better communication channels, to better understand each of our concerns, and then more efficiency in what we do, and to eliminate some barriers that are caused by everybody's individual silos. There was a lot to talk about in 6 hours. We're going to get a report from our mediator in a week, and we'll share that. But I really think that maybe it was not having cameras and there wasn't any press. Maybe that helped because people were just talking, and that's what we had is 6 hours worth of talk. And we're not going to fix everything in one meeting, but I think it was a good first start. And I think one of the other things that we had come across, and again, this is a pet peeve of mine, where we got to get everybody to learn to not take offense in everything that somebody says and not take things personally. We need to just understand where we're coming from and respect those opinions. And I'll just close. I don't have a parable, but I'll just close with a quote that I refer to all the time from Brigham Young. And it's, "He who takes offense when no offense intended is a fool. And he who takes offense when offense is intended is a bigger fool." So I'd like people to take that to heart. That's all.
Thank you. First, to respond to Ms. Kara Brown, I appreciate you bringing up your concerns. I do want to say that if the county, just so you have a general idea, if the county is not going to do it, we need an agency or a group that oversees it. And we have a contract currently with one group. So I understand your concern about trying to work together, and I think that's very key, and I think that's going to be underlined when we look and review the situation of the current contract. But probably we will have to have some group overseeing it because we do not have the staff to do that. But I did want you to know that, and we will keep your ideas in mind because I think you made some excellent points, and I appreciate your coming forward. Second, I want to thank Mr. Sikora for putting together the meeting that I admit I was very hesitant on. But I also want to thank Mr. Clifford, your assessment. There was a lot of things that I think you stated that were clear. And I do look that we continue this. My recommendation is going to be that we do not have any attorneys or anyone else except elected officials. I think that is something would be important in the next step. Again, that's something we can look at. I think it's just something that we need to consider. Third, I want to thank the other commissioners. We had a track opening. We had almost 200 people. I mean, I was ecstatic in the rain, light rain, and to see the faces of the students, the track members who jumped on what I called a rubberized Berber cart. It was really neat to walk around and see and imagine what this is going to do for our community, and also have a path outside. It's something that will clearly be, as you said, I like that, another addition to something that's really important for the quality of life. I appreciate that. I do want to bring up something that I'm going to ask the commissioners to support, which I think they will do. Several weeks ago, we sent a letter to the state tax department that clearly we were allowed to do under the new law. We asked some questions, we had some concerns, and we even offered our willingness to help. I want it publicly known at this time that we were just informed that not only had they not answered, we sent it certified and they haven't even taken it out of the mailbox. On that basis, I'm asking that we send another letter. Maybe it was an oversight, but I asked that we send another letter certified, and let's get a response. And hopefully we get one, and if not, we'll have to serve it to them. But I am asking that we send another letter at this time. It's very frustrating to me that we've worked extremely hard, and I want it publicly stated that the three of us worked very hard with the legislature, and we're not even getting the letter picked up.
You might want to clarify this is for the
State,
the tax, the
I
alcohol.
apologize for the alcohol tax situation that we sent. I am sorry. The law that was changed, and all we're trying to do is get the information, and now that we have a law behind us, we sent a certified letter, and they didn't even pick it up out of the mailbox. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else.
Keeping with what Sean said, we will choose not
Yes.
to take offense.
Take offense.
But I agree that we should readdress and send another letter.
And it may have been an
immediately
oversight.
to correct the oversight.
Yes, thank you. I do appreciate it. And finally, I need to discuss this, and I'm going to take the liberty being the representative as a Jewish community member and an elected official, we went to the vigil on Monday night, and first of all, I can't say enough, not only about the 4 WVU students from the Chabad who put this tremendous presentation program on, never once asking for blame, never hate, but talking about hope and the future and to discuss what happened. And I want to thank them. I want to thank the outpouring of the community of all different faith groups who were there for one reason, to combat this type of hatred and rhetoric. And I posted something, and I want to read it. I don't usually read something I post, but I think it's real important. And I wrote today, my thoughts are still with the event that took place in Pittsburgh, but it's time to move on. I ask for our community to show the world why Monongalia County and its people are stronger than this act of hatred. That we will come together and continue to perform acts of kindness, or the Jewish word is mitzvahs, and think of service to others before self. Enjoy your family, care for your neighbor, but most important, respect our differences. And I appreciate you allowing me to say that. At this time, if there's nothing else, we move to adjourn.
Second.
Properly moved and second, we are adjourned. Thank you.